The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Namaskar. Welcome to our Astaunga Yoga course. Today we are going for the class number 8. What have we seen so far? We have seen the step 1 and step 2 of the 8 steps of yoga. Let's say 8 limbs of yoga. We have seen the first and the second, which are yama and niyama. One is about the relationship with other people, other beings. The other one is about the relationship with ourselves. So if we manage to have a good relationship with others, a good relationship with ourselves, we are way ahead in our practice of yoga. As you see, yoga is a practical thing. It's something for the daily life. And I have started already the third step last week, and the third step is asana, or those postures, exercise of yoga. Actually, we many times think that the exercises are yoga, but it's just one of the limbs of yoga. The meaning of the word asana is a position in which one feels comfortable. And what is asana? It's a kind of exercise by regular practice of which the body stays healthy and hardy and many diseases are cured. And that was a definition by my teacher, Sri Anandamurti. Okay, all that is review. How it works, that's also a review. One of the main effects of the exercise is not on the muscles, but it's on the internal organs, and especially and particularly on the endocrine glands. They regulate the functioning of these glands, therefore the hormone secretion. And because of that, they affect the mind also, because the hormones change our mood or change our mind, change our, what I called last week, propensities, mental propensities, or things like fear, shame, hope, indulgence. We can become more susceptible, or we can have it more in us depending on how these glands work. So it depends on the hormone secretion. The hormone secretion can be regulated by this yogic exercise. So it's a kind of a very useful thing. It's a little bit different from just exercising the muscles. It's a kind of exercise for the mind also. A little bit continuing our review, how it works. Different asana benefits different people because they have different effect. And the effect comes from the daily practice. It's not that I will practice just once a week or maybe twice a week. It's something to be practiced daily. Let's compare. I like to compare it with eating. Eating means you have food for your body digests that food and uses for the maintenance of the body. We eat daily, even we eat more than once every day. So in the same way, asana is a different kind of food, a kind of something on your metabolism that you have to exercise every day, even more than once a day. So asana, more daily, food daily, sleep daily, wake up daily, many things we do daily. Now, how to practice? There are 3 basic asanas that we can start practicing every day. These basic asanas, I will talk more about them probably next time, but it would be a good start. You see, it's not too many, just 3 asanas. Maybe it will take you 15 minutes. In the morning, you practice those 15 minutes. Again, in the evening, you practice another 15 minutes. It becomes like a half an hour practice a day, but you are doing it every day. Another point is it's important to have an instructor, a teacher. A teacher will avoid that we make mistakes, because everything we do in our life, everything we learn better from somebody who has experienced it, who has some experience. So find a qualified person that you trust that can instruct you in this practice. Then develop a personal set of asanas. As I mentioned before, it's not like one size fits all. There are thousands. Choose some that fits your body, that helps your particular physical structure and mental structure. The instructor will help with that. Then practice daily. And adjust as per need. Means as you are practicing, your body is changing, your mind is changing. You're also feeling how the asana is affecting your body, so you can adjust accordingly. Discuss with the instructor. Maybe you're having difficulty with a certain asana. You say, well, this asana, I'm having this problem. The instructor may change it. Okay, don't do this one for the time being. Do that one. In that way, the body goes on developing it. Mind goes on changing. So it's a dynamic approach to the practice. When to practice? Well, basic things. It's important to practice asanas on an empty stomach. So that will mean early morning before the breakfast, evening before the dinner. So we have enough time from the meal, from lunch to dinner, we have enough time for the body to digest the food, and the stomach is empty, then we can practice. And I added here after meditation. Why did I do that? Because usually you're also doing meditation early in the morning, so when you finish the meditation, that's an ideal moment that you go into your body and adjust it also. You will also be more sensitive to the body after meditation. Your mind will be more concentrated. You'll be more focused, so you'll get more benefit. And some people may ask, what about practicing asana before meditation? I would say it's also okay, but I do prefer after meditation, because meditation is, let's say, more subtle practice. Asana is a little bit more physical. So when you do asana, your mind goes a little bit more into the physical. Let's say in the morning. In the morning you wake up, you're coming from a very subtle stage. So then you do the asana. It means you focus very much in the body, and then you do the meditation. It makes a little bit more difficult. So you are in that subtle stage in the morning, do your meditation, and then do the asana. I feel that is better. In the evening, maybe you can have more choice. Maybe you came from outside, you are engaged in the physical world. So asana could be a transition that you start doing the asana to calm down, and then you calm down, then you come into the meditation. That could be a way to go. All right. Where to practice? You don't really need a special place. At your home. But some important things. Avoid drafts of air, because you can catch a cold. It can be not so good for the body. Avoid smoke. So no incense. Not, oh, I'm going to practice asana, so you put some incense to give a nice fragrance. It's better not. And no strong smells. Eh, about practicing outside, sometimes we see nice pictures, somebody practicing by a waterfall on top of a mountain. To practice a few asanas or like this in that situation is okay, but for the regular practice, it's better not to do outside because of the movement of air. So it's better to be inside so you control the environment. Use a mat or a blanket. I would suggest something natural, let's say cotton or some natural material, because your body will be in contact with that. Few preparations. Before asana, refresh the body. We are used to going to the gym, sweating, then taking a shower, or going to a asana class, to a yoga class, and then we do a lot of yoga. And then we are sweating, then immediately we take a shower. But here, the approach is a little bit different. We refresh the body before, because in this type of practice that I'm, let's say, recommending, it's very much connected to meditation. You are preparing your body for meditation. You are preparing your mind for meditation. You're working with your glands. You're working with your hormones. So the body functions better if it's fresh. If the body is heated, some glands may work too much or maybe paralyzed by the heat, may not work properly. You may not produce the result that you would like to get. So it's better to refresh the body before. So after a shower, for example, the body is fresh, ready. Now you can start your practice of asanas. Or you can even do, let's say, you take the shower, then you meditate, because that's an ideal time for meditation. Meditation is a further step on the 8 limbs. So we haven't talked about it, but it is coming. So I'm already preparing. So, okay, you took the shower, you meditated a bit, then you start your practice of asanas. Your body is ready for that. Now you may think what to wear. And there is a lot of fashion on yoga clothes. You don't really need special yoga clothes. If you are going to a studio or like that and you are with other people, then it's a social environment, then you may worry about what you are going to wear. But if you are at your home, the best is to wear minimum clothes as possible. If the room has a good temperature, you need minimum clothes as possible, maybe only on your underwear. It is good to have cotton underwear that is tight fitting and holds you well, and minimum clothes. So then preparations are done. You may start your practice. In case you cannot take a shower to refresh the body, you can do another technique. It's called a half bath. This half bath, you can do it in many situations. Whenever you feel that your body is a little bit hot and the energy is not flowing well, maybe you are tired, maybe you are sleepy, even though you haven't done much, but your energy is not flowing, you can do that. The theory, okay, this is a yogic technique. It relaxes the nerves, it lowers the metabolism, cools, refreshes the body and the mind, stimulates a relaxation response, the water. It invigorates if we do it during the day, and it also helps us to sleep deeper if we take it before sleep. So how to do it? The principle is that the parts of the body that we use most during the day are our sensory organs and our motor organs. So they get more warmed up, or they get more tired, let's say. So I'm going to do the following. First, let's say you are going to do asana. So, okay, go to the toilet, empty your bladder and bowels if necessary. Take the opportunity to refresh the genital area. That usually accumulates a lot of heat, and just by refreshing, you will feel a little bit more relaxed. Wash your hands. Then, using cool water, you wash from the knees to the feet, from the elbows to hands. Then you take a mouthful of water, okay? And then you splash water in the eyes with the eyes open 12 times or more. That's very good for the eyes. Splash water on the face, behind the ears, neck. Then you get some water, like make a cup with the hand like this, get a little bit water, and then doing like this, like tilting the head back, you are able, or you will be able to make in such a way that water gets into your nostrils and then comes out through the mouth. And then you spit it out. Okay, so do it like 3 times. It cleans the nasal passages, cleans the nostrils. You can blow the nose, and so that you get a clear breathing. So that's the half bath. And half bath, you can do, suppose you are at work and you are feeling your energy is not going, you're not concentrating, you can just go and take this half bath. Or you are at school, you're also feeling, oh, I'm tired, sleeping in the class, I can't concentrate, can't pay attention. Do the half bath. Even you are driving, you're getting a little bit drowsy, stop, do a half bath. It helps a lot. And another thing, I mentioned before that before sleep it's good, and it's really good. And I don't say it's a miracle, but sometimes it may. Like once there is a story that there was a lady, she came to a yoga class that was taught by a person that I know. And at the end of the course, it was a course, like 10 weeks. And so after the course, the instructor asked, what did you like most about the course? What was the most beneficial practice? One lady said, what I liked most was half bath. And the instructor was surprised because he thought, oh, maybe people like this asana or that asana, but half bath. Why half bath? She said, I had problem with sleeping. And when you mentioned that I could do it before sleep, I tried it and I slept. So it's sometimes small things can help a lot. So that much about half bath. So that's a preparation for asanas. So we saw many preparations for asanas. A few extra things. One is the diet, what you eat. What we recommend is a lacto-vegetarian diet. What is lacto-vegetarian? Vegetarian, okay, we know vegetarian. Lacto, you can drink milk and take yogurt and eat cheese, plus vegetarian. So these two. Of course, nowadays many people are vegan, like that's also fine. Vegan is fine. Just vegetarian is fine. There are a few things to avoid. Three very important things to avoid. Onions, garlic, mushrooms. Okay. Why I'm telling that? Maybe there are people practicing and they just eat meat diet like that, you know. All right, but here our goal is, okay, make the body flexible, make the body strong, this, that, but we also want to work on the glands. And work on the glands means that the glands will produce the right amount of hormones. They will have a balanced hormone secretion. Why? Because those hormones affect my mind. So I want my mind to be balanced. I don't want to be hormonally, let's say, stimulated to do this and to do that and not have a proper balance in my mind. I want to have that balance. So for that, I'm doing this exercise and I'm doing them regularly, maybe every day. The raw material for the production of the hormones and to feed the glands to make them function well is something we call lymph in yoga. I'm using the, let's say, the English name lymph. It sometimes gets mixed up because it's sometimes used in different ways in the medical literature like that. But anyway, here I'm talking about the raw material that the glands use to produce various hormones. The vegetarian food stimulates the body to produce more of this lymph. So when I'm doing the yoga exercises, I'm sometimes using more of it, stimulating the gland. So now, if the gland gets stimulated and there is not enough lymph, it will not be able to respond to that stimulus. So it may not help. So I want to produce enough lymph so that it helps my immune system, it helps the glands to function properly, to purify the body, and so many functions. And so that's why diet is important. You know, everything in the body is transformation. We are putting food in our body, it's been transformed in different elements. So according to the ingredients, the initial ingredients, you get the results. So that's why I'm recommending a lacto-vegetarian diet or a vegetarian diet instead of a diet based on animal protein. Okay, so you may say, what about if I cannot change the diet like that? Still, asanas will benefit, but you have to see which ones to do and which ones to avoid to have a lighter practice, okay? At least to accomplish this goal of balancing the hormone secretion, the glands, and the mind. A second point, joint hair. Hair grows in our body in certain parts, and it has a function. You will notice that in those parts where there is more hair, there is a concentration of lymphatic nodes. And the hair functions a little bit to regulate the temperature. So to remove that hair, it might be more difficult for the body to regulate the temperature, and those glands may heat up. If there is more heat, maybe the balanced hormone secretion is more difficult to achieve. So it's not very beneficial. Here I'm pointing out some points that help to achieve the results of the practice. And the third point is breathing. Maybe you noticed, maybe you didn't notice, but the Sometimes we are breathing more through one nostril, sometimes through the other one. Means sometimes the right, sometimes the left, and it alternates during the day. Many years ago, about 7,000 years ago, one yogi named Shiva, he came up with this science of breathing. And according to which nostril the air is flowing, has a different effect on the mind and on the body. To get the best effect of the asana, it is good to stimulate breathing through the left nostril. So if my left nostril is more active, that's a good time for asanas. If the moment I'm going to do asanas, the right is more active, there is a method. Maybe I'll talk about it next time. There is a method to stimulate the left one so that when I start the practice, the left one is working. Of course, there are some asanas that it doesn't matter so much which nostril you are breathing. Some asanas it matters more, some it matters less. And some you can practice without giving attention to the breathing. Okay? So that is about these extra points. And I want to come to a conclusion of this class. It's a summary now. Important things. You want to practice asanas? Great. So important things. The choice of which asanas to practice. As I mentioned, according to your body, your mind, a different asana may be more suitable. That choice can be helped by a good teacher. So a good teacher can prescribe you, just like a doctor prescribes you something, an asana teacher or yoga teacher or instructor will prescribe some asanas. This is not the norm in the today's practice where you go to a studio and you do an asana class and do so many poses like that without considering the difference between the different people present at that particular class. But that's people are doing like once a week or twice a week, maximum 3 times a week. But here I'm talking about a practice that you do at home daily and even better twice every day. So you see, this is much more important to choose the right asana if you are doing such a regular practice. So you have an instructor, the instructor is working with you, which are the best asanas for you, and you are going home and you are doing them daily. So that's the first part. Here, this third, you refresh the body before the practice and not after. Even after, you should not immediately take a shower or even touch water. You should wait 10 minutes, 20 minutes like that. Anyway, I'm now, this class is more on the preparation. Next time we'll talk more about the doing it and then about after you do it. So you see, before you do it, while you are doing, after you do, so all these are important. The time of the practice, let's connect it to the time that we have meals, because we should do it on an empty stomach. So usually before. So before breakfast, before dinner, these are the good times if you are practicing twice daily. Place, clean, nice environment, no smoke, no airflow. Means air, fresh air, but not windy. Okay, so that protects the body. Clothes, less clothes, better. If you are home, you are alone, you are in your intimacy, just underwear, that's best. If you are in a social environment, then you dress according to that environment. Okay, and food. And as I mentioned, food is important. Watch what you eat. If you still, let's say, feel that you need animal protein and this, but make an effort to increase vegetables, greens, food that gives more, that has more chlorophyll, chlorophyll helps to produce more lymph. It's kind of a catalyzer. So like green salads and even green vegetables, like even cooked, all that is good. So you increase on that part, automatically there will be a little bit decrease on the animal protein. Okay, and if you are already vegetarian, if you are vegan, is already very helpful. It will be very positive for the asana practice. I think that's the summary, and nothing to add at this moment. So questions. So now let me see if there are any questions that I haven't answered so far. There is a question here, and it's about food, about the best food. Well, I don't want to be very specific on the food because, our diet should be have many types of food so we can get various ingredients from various parts. I just want to say that prefer a vegetarian food. And also milk and derivatives. Of course, nowadays, there is a lot of controversy about milk because of the origin, how it's produced, how the industry utilizes hormones and all this. And that also happens with vegetables, the pesticides, everything. So you have to do a little bit research so that you can find a source that you trust and that you feel that you are getting good quality of food. Okay, so food is important. Change of diet should be done gradually. You should, not just cut something, but you have to think how to substitute. Okay, so I think I covered all the questions about the food. Questions about clothes, best clothes to wear and things like that. I also don't want to be specific. I mentioned that if you are at home, minimum clothes as possible. If you are in a social environment, see the environment. I advise to use more natural fibers if like cotton and silk, like that, more natural. Because if you are wearing synthetic clothes, it may create more heat in the body. It may also not let your body, let's say, expel toxins. Or sometimes the body, what happens is like this: when we are doing asanas, the body produces certain substances, okay? Those substances are not always to be eliminated. Sometimes when we cool down, the body reabsorbs them. Some oils and like that. So you don't want also clothes that will hamper that process, or that will, suppose your body produces some substance, the clothes will absorb it, so you don't get it back after. So just be mindful that you are using natural materials. They will not produce allergies and things like that, not synthetic that produce extra heat and things like that. Okay. Time of the day, if it's okay to do asanas noontime. Yeah, it's okay. Means suppose you don't have time in the morning, but you have time around noon. You took your breakfast, but now it's already you are on an empty stomach. That's also okay to practice. All right. Okay, I think everything is covered here. So I would like to end this webinar for today. Thank you very much for participating. Namaskar.